note, and it's like, no, turn another cheek. Eventually, you're going to run out of cheeks to turn.
I ran out on page 3.
No. So the next day, the boys play scratch ball, which is unlike
I
any
have
game.
a note. What the fuck is scratch ball?
Yes, unlike any game I've ever heard of.
If the batter throws the ball, then why is he a batter?
Yes. So unlike any game I ever heard of except baseball. Because it is just like baseball except no bat.
But the guy is called a batter.
Yes, there's no pitcher, right? I think all you do is the person...
You just throw the ball and run like hell.
Yeah, you throw the ball as high as you can, so you do essentially
What's the point in that?
What you would do if you had a bat. I guess it's just no bats.
Are they afraid of giving these kids bats?
Oh, you see what happens when they just have a ball.
No, what happens?
Oh, well, I'll talk about it in a second. So yeah, you just throw the ball, run the bases before anyone can catch the ball. Nick, I want to tell you a little story about my camp experience.
I don't care, Matthew.
Oh, you want to know this, because we had a game that we would play once a summer. Earth Ball.
Mother Earth?
You ever played with a kin ball?
You have to respect Mother Earth, Ball.
I need you to answer my question, Nick. You know what a kin ball is?
I don't know what it... Describe a kin ball.
Well, it's just a huge ball. It's like a real big ball. Taller than a man. So we would play out in the field.
Yeah.
With this huge, towering ball. Pretty much we would just play soccer with it. We'd just run and push it. But the problem is every year, many children got hurt. And every year, everyone would be like, no, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. We're not... This is when I was a counselor, not when I was a kid.
This is the definition of insanity.
Yeah, and every year. And it's like, the ground is not flat ground. It's bumpy. It's got divots in it. It's muddy. It's dark out, too.
It's Mother Earth.
You got 7-year-olds to 14-year-olds and all the counselors on the other side of the team. And every year, you could only play for about 10 minutes before 3 kids had, like, twisted ankles and a broken arm or something. And every year, it's like, this is the last time. Deflate the earth ball.
Yeah, but I really missed out on the camp experience.
Deflate the earth ball. But every year, someone would blow it back up again and be like, "Oh, we learned from our mistakes last year."
Oh boy!
Oh, that was the most fun because you knew kids were going to the infirmary that night. So not unlike this game, it would seem, because Larry ends up whipping a ball to the back of Colin's head. Do you remember that? Because they had some kind of argument.
Yes.
Crack, back of the skull.
Yeah, and I thought he just killed a boy.
Mm-hmm. Larry's been known to kill a couple boys, supposedly because the two had been arguing about some scratch ball related issue. Larry pretends it was an accident, but Bill saw everything. Colin is carried to the lodge. Mike tags along, hopefully, to get his hand looked at before he dies.
Yeah.
No one's given Mike any love. At dinner, Bill purples his pants, and when he goes back to the bunk...
So, hang on.
Okay, backtrack.
Is that a turn of phrase in this world?
No, he just got grape soda spilled on his pants.
Oh, so they have grapes?
Yeah, man, it's a camp.
Okay.
Full of grapes. He goes back to change, realizes that all of Mike's stuff is gone, so he doesn't even end up changing his pants. He's so upset, he runs back.
Wait, I actually have a note. I don't care about any of this.
Well, you better start caring, Nick, because I got 7 more pages of notes.
Yeah. Okay.
Bill confronts the counselors about it, but nobody seems to know or care.
When I was reading the book and Mike disappeared, and then they were eating like some meat with gravy, and lumpy potatoes, I was like, oh, okay, so it's like they're killing the campers and feeding them to the campers. I thought they were cannibals.
Okay. You think Stein would do that?
No, but I thought that would make for a much more interesting story.
Yes.
And it made all the sense. It was just like, okay, so they're feeding this mystery meat to these kids, and the kid disappeared.
Yeah. No, that definitely would have been a pretty good story. I had that couple of theories,
and then there's a line where it's like, oh, Jay, you're dead meat. And I'm like, oh, they're definitely cannibals.
Oh, yeah. It definitely would. I think it would have been a little too risque.
Oh, well, it's going to be too risque.
Yeah. It's like, Stein, we just told you in The Girl Who Cried Monster, we can't have the librarian eating a kid. And now you're having kids eating kids. None of this is acceptable.
And also, they're telling... I'm underappreciated in my own time.
Yeah. It's like, hopefully one day...
But we appreciate you, Mr. Stein.
Yeah. That night is tent night. You ever sleep in a tent, Nick? Can you relate with me on that one?
Nope.
Well, all right.
I've lived a life.
Then we're going to power through this. You know what that means? They're going to sleep in tents. Would
you say it's going to be an intense night?
I would say that. I've actually written that. I was going to say, do Do you know what they say about camping?
It's intense.
Exactly.
Yep.
That night, Jay and another kid, Roger...
Two Rogers don't make a right. Ha ha!
They sneak away to check out the forbidden bunk. But Bill stays back with Colin, whose head still hurts from earlier. He's seen double.
I've got nothing to add. Keep going.
Okay. Bill and Colin decide to sneak back to the cabin now because they are freezing. It's cold out there in the tent. Middle of summer, but chilly.
Yeah, it's like this strange weather pattern.
Yeah, well, they're out past the desert. Doesn't the desert get really cold at night?
Sometimes. Once
they're back at the cabin, they hear these horrific screams. And animal snarls. just Ray Romano.
Hey.
Just screams.
Yeah,
I'm Saber.
Deborah.
Yeah, joke around. Everything's so funny. I'm the monster. I'm the monster.
Yeah, I'm the monster.
Give me your wallets.
Yeah. Sure. Everybody loves Saber.
Everybody loves Saber. Shortly after that, Bill runs out to see what the heck is going on out there.
Oh, yeah, I made a note that he keeps running up that hill. So he keeps running up that hill like Kate Bush. Moving on.
So he runs out and he sees Jay running towards him.
Still single, everybody.
Saying that it got Roger. Tore him to bloody pieces right in front of him.
Yeah.
We're assuming this is Saber, right, Nick?
Sure.
They don't explicitly say it.
I forgot Saber was a character, or, a creature, the name of the creature or whatever, so, yeah, sure.
Red-eyed monster. Jay says that he's coming for them next, and then he faints. Bill pulls him back into the cabin to safety, and the three boys pretty much just stay awake all night.
Yeah.
Terrified.
Yeah.
You
ever stay up all night terrified? Yes.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Yes, Matthew. Every fucking night of my life.
I'm so glad that we could finally, reach some common ground between you and this book.
Oh, yeah.
First thing in the morning, they run to tell Larry what happened. But him and the other counselors don't care at all.
They give zero fucks.
Yeah, they're like, if someone was attacked, we would know. We would hear it.
I heard it, man, and I fucking saw it. I keep washing, but the fucking blood won't come off, man. There's always more. I've got pieces of Roger in my ear. In my fucking ear, Larry!
He's having a tough time. I don't know why Larry can't see that. So despite their insisting, the conversation just sort of goes in circles, and it's super frustrating.
Yep.
After morning swim, this is one of those moments where it's like, well, a kid just died in front of his eyes, but it's like, we'll go to morning swim.
Sure.
Except except Jay's eyes are bloodshot. He's
He's been rocking back and forth all night.
Yeah. But they go to morning swim. Larry comes to see the boys, saying that he had to talk with Uncle Al, and that they checked out the area, and no signs of an attack. And what's more, Nick, camp records don't even have a Roger on file.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, all's well and good then. If the kid was never supposed to be there, it's for the best. Bill thinks to himself at this point, this is probably the most depressing Bill thought that he's had. Maybe a swim will make me feel better. Maybe nothing will make me feel better.
Attaboy. Learn early.
Yeah. Turned into a man. Bill is abducted now, manhandled, pulled into the woods by Dawn and one of her friends, Dory. They just swam over from their side of the camp.
They're not allowed on that side of the camp,
They're
Matthew.
not allowed. Well, the boys aren't allowed on the girls' side. Maybe the girls had different rules. Maybe their rules were
like
go.
in Harry Potter. The boys couldn't enter the girls' dormitory, but the girls can go into the boys' dormitory.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It was one of those weird magic things. It's like Hermione is always going into their room and being like, we've got to do something about it, Harry! And then when they try to go in, they just get pushed back by magic and they're like, what the hell? And then she's like, oh yeah, didn't you know? We got magic here because we can't be, you boys can't be trusted.
Too many sexual assaults, eh?
Well, these can't be trusted.
The boys?
The boys can't be trusted.
What kind of person would Harry Potter have turned out to be if there was no magic stopping him from going into the girls' dormitories?
Probably the exact same person.
Well, you know what? They can have as much magic as they want keeping boys out of the girls' dorms, but no magic strong enough keeping Harry out of the women's lavatory. You know who's in there?
Moaning Myrtle.
Moaning Myrtle.
Why is she moaning?
Different theories. Different trains of thought.
Isn't that one of those really bad Harry Potter pickup lines that people use on the Tinder?
I wasn't aware there were people who used Tinder and like Harry Potter.
Oh my god.
They don't have some sort of Harry Potter Tinder?
If there is, I don't want to be anywhere near it. I really don't.
Where it's like you don't even have to say you're a Harry Potter fan because this thing is called like some Harry Potter reference. I don't know.
You only match with people in the same house as you.
Oh yes, that would be amazing. Why doesn't that exist?
Wait. What's a good name for it?
What's that game they play with the ball?
Quidditch. Oh, okay. Yeah, it'd just be called Seeker.
Seeker. That's perfect. Let's. Are you good at making apps, Nick?
No.
Oh well, $1 million idea down the drain.
Yep.
Don't nobody out there make this.
No,
Seeker
copyright
app.
Nick and Matt.
Yeah. Bill is worried about getting caught because of
we all
rules. Are. Yeah. But I mean, if there were no repercussions, Nick, for going over to the forbidden bunk, right? Mm-hmm. So I think he'll be fine.
Yeah.
At least hear him out because the girls need help, Nick. Their camp is a nightmare.
I get it.
In fact, they call it such. Strange things have been happening over there as well. Child abductee things.
Like the Randy Newman song?
Let's sing it.
Strange things are happening. From Toy Story.
Oh yeah. That's happening here too.
Yeah.
All the same beats are being hit here. Do you think that they also have a saber on their side too? Or some other monster taking
Probably
children?
a much more sinister, deadly, ferocious.
It's just Ahmed from Curse of the Mummy. That's where you ran off to.
Yes.
One of them has saber, the other one has Ahmed.
He jumped on a rocket.
Yeah, fastest way to get anywhere, really.
Yep.
They decide to meet up again in a couple of days to hash out a plan of action. So nothing is agreed on over here. They just swam all the way over to be like, let's talk soon.
They're just testing the waters. They're dipping their feet in.
Bill is very excited now to go tell Jay that horrible things were also happening at the girls' camp because he thinks that might make him feel better. That his friend was disemboweled before his eyes. Yeah. But don't worry, girls are being disemboweled too. It's all happening. So, okay, though, but first, Bill decides he's going to run over to the lodge and use the payphone he saw earlier. He's going to call his parents and he's like, get them to come save him. He's like, they'll take all of us home because, would they believe him, though?
No, I can't imagine the parents would at all.
No, Bill, of course they would. Bill asks himself this question. He's like, would they believe me? And he's like, yes, they would. Because, Bill is mad trustworthy, Nick.
Sure, yeah.
He's super responsible. His parents would definitely believe him, I think. But the only problem is the phone isn't real.
It's a Halloween decoration.
Yeah, it's plastic.
It's made of styrofoam.
Oh, it's made of styrofoam?
No, it's probably just like a plastic thing. I just imagine, for it to look remotely real, it would be made out of, styrofoam and have depth to it instead of just being like a fucking plastic hang-up.
Yeah. I mean, it's
How do you get fucking fooled by that?
Well, from a distance.
No.
It's fake. And wait for it, Nick. It's phony. Stein wrote, it's phony. I didn't write that. I didn't say that. I didn't say it. Really, Stein? Phone
Really?
Humor. Children are dying, man.
This is no time for puns.
No. You just throw it in there like it's
Usually
no
I
thing.
give a ringing endorsement to puns.
but
he just has to dial it back.
Yeah. He's got a couple hang-ups about this, though. It's a
little tone deaf. There's a lot on the line here.
All Bill wanted to do was phone home.
That's a good one. High five.
So he bumps into Uncle Al now, who eyes him.
Oh, hi.
Yeah, eyes him suspiciously while fingering his yellow mustache.
Suspiciously?
Yeah, suspiciously. Nick's just given up on getting up to use the washroom. He just uses his catheter now.
I wash myself with a rag on a stick.
Did you hear what I said, Nick?
Yeah, Uncle Al.
Fingering his yellow mustache?
There's a lot wrong with this.
I'm just gonna leave that there. I mean, it's not as bad as Lindy. Anyway, yeah, I'll leave it. I'll leave it at that. So Jay and Colin have to go on this 3-mile hike now with one of the counselors. It's a weird, 2-person hike with one counselor.
Yeah, 2-person hike, and then it's like, oh, you just arbitrarily, you're gonna go play tennis now. This camp is a fucking terrible place.
It's a nightmare.
I mean, yeah, haha.
No, but I'm serious. I wrote that. It's like, this is what nightmares are made of, never knowing what's going on.
Well, I'm just like, this camp is really awful.
Yeah.
Monster and cannibals aside.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. It is. It's there's no organization. It just seems like you're always falling behind. You never know what's going on. Because, yeah, like you said, he's representing